Sorry, that's too much fun. Okay, so what's up everybody? Happy Friday. We're going to be getting into the culmination of your lunging movements, the culmination of your pullover movements. Hopefully you've been enjoying this stuff this week. If the strength development has not kind of caught up with the movements that we're going to be doing today, do not fret. Keep going on the rep scheme that you're doing before with the movements that you are comfortable with. And by comfortable, I don't mean doesn't hurt or doesn't challenge you. I mean movements that are at the kind of straddling the line of your capability. You should be able to execute them properly, but they should still be challenging. So there's that. If you're kind of moving past that, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do chop lunges, which are truly evil, and then we're gonna do some full pullovers with no lower body engagement. So Wednesday, we did that push pullover, okay? The dip and pullover, so if that's where you need to be, go ahead and stay there. If not, we'll be going a little bit more strict, and this video is gonna be a little bit shorter. So, for the chop lunge, here's what I'm looking for. We're gonna start at the shoulder, just like we did on Monday with the lunge into front support. This time, we're gonna take the lunge, the chop all the way down to the side. And the most important thing I can tell you is this. The handle is going to go from parallel at shoulder to parallel at hip. The most common fault I see in this lunge is the handle ends up being perpendicular to the ground at the hip rather than parallel to the ground. So film yourself on this one and you'll know you're doing it wrong if the handle ends up perpendicular to the ground. But what I'm gonna do, whichever leg is underneath the hammer, that leg is gonna step back. I'm gonna pull this hammer over, off, across my body, drop down into the chop, and I'm gonna point my shoulders towards the hammer. Okay, here's my chop position. Then stand back tall. Okay, so at speed and from the side, I'm coming across the body, chop, stand up, across the body, chop, and stand up. Okay, full chop lunge. More than likely, the thing that you're gonna feel burn out first is actually gonna be the bicep closest to the head of the hammer. Don't feel weird or bad about that. That's typical. That's been my experience up until this point. With the pullover, just no lower body engagement. So, the goal being, starting in front support, being able to go over the back, feel like you're tightening into this position. So I'm tightening my abs, I'm tightening my glutes, tightening my quads, and then no pop, just a drop the elbows back down. Okay, we're going to need this motion in order to get a little bit more dynamic with your squatting and lunging, but you're also going to need it for slams, okay? Just a note that I've kind of been experiencing recently with some of the feedback. I want you guys to think about the fact that there are differences between mobility and terminal strength, like the end range of your strength, range of motion, but that doesn't mean that they're two completely separate entities. What we're doing with the hammer is we're driving you into some deeper ranges of motion and asking your body, your musculature to be strong there. If you look at the world of gymnastics, we know that the human body is capable of a great deal of strength through a great range of motion, but you have to train into it. To say, oh, here's strength on one side and here's mobility on the other is closed-minded, and it's a faulty understanding of your physiology. So just throwing that note out there. And just because we don't understand this doesn't mean there's not information to be had. We just have to go and find it. So boop, there's a little nugget. Look for the video for Saturday, and yeah, we'll be getting into some cool slams and some more hip mobility stuff. But for today, keep the same sequence, 6 rounds. Chop lunges, I would do 1 round of chop lunges on the left, and then switch, do 1 round of chop lunges on the right, intersperse them with some pullovers, and that should see you pretty well and happily toasted. Have a good one, enjoy the workout, post them up, see you next time. Doot, doot, doot.